But for anybody who wants to share their wins or share their takeaways, new faces are highly encouraged. So throughout this entire call, if you're new, if you haven't introduced yourself to the group, now's the time you do that. You know, this group was there to collaborate. I was speaking last night, and one of the things that I took away from other people speaking and then also myself is, you know, we have these real estate groups and clubs to meet people. And literally Grant talks about the five things that are most important to real estate. The number one thing is the deal. And so that's why every week we come here and we talk about deals, because if you don't have deals that you're looking at, sometimes, and guys, for me personally, I got pretty frustrated. Like people that I was going to these different courses doing this, they were thinking way too small. They're like, okay, here's how to flip a home. Here's how to buy a home. And it's like, once you do like one of those calls, you're like, okay, you put 5 to 20% down. You hope and pray that somebody's going to do creative financing, and you just got to go out there and hunt and find deals. So I got frustrated. The thing I like about this call is that we focus on the deal. And so whether you're a GP, whether you're an LP, whether you're managing and helping them put the deals together, you know, everybody plays a different role. So just know that even if you don't have a deal, you know, like Ray is the DST expert. You know, he brings a different level and a different lane to this group. So if we don't know who you are, you bring a different lane, or you bring deals, or you bring equity. Make sure everybody knows who you are. And then once you take this group, a lot of you guys are coming to this real estate summit in December, but bring your team, you know, bring a friend. You know, we want to help more people. We can't do that without our power base, you know, really truly helping us. So we come here to add value. Andres, do you want to cover anything before we unmute a few folks?
I mean, really, I think you covered it all. The real estate summit you already covered. And then, I mean, look, I think one of the most important things, I don't think we say this enough, is if you are winning with anything that you're doing inside this club and we don't know about it, let us know about it. You know, we want to see how you guys are winning. You know, like I know Terry's successes in the club because I know Terry personally. I know Carlos' successes in the club because we know Carlos. He's told us his successes. Caleb Cooper, I know your successes because you've told us, right? But for all the rest of you that I see with your hands raised, I don't know your wins because you haven't told us it yet. So if you have wins, send them to success@grantcardone.com. That's success@grantcardone.com, or send them to me personally, and I'll make sure it gets to the right places because we love to see you guys win. Also, you know, if you guys appreciate Ryan and Grant's time, like, I think the number one thing that keeps them going is when we see Carlos is closing on, you know, a 48 unit or 138 unit or 120 unit deal. When we see Caleb's doing a deal, right? When we see Rudolph is out there doing a deal or looking at deals, right? So when we see that and we see Thomas Varghese closing on deals, it's what keeps us going. So if you have successes, send it to me at andres@cardonecapital.com or to success@grantcardone.com.
Hey, Andres. So when I just pinned Carlos and Michael, it threw us back. What am I doing? Is this operator? I mean, I could fly a jet, but I can't fly.
You pinned them on your screen. You didn't pin them on ours. You just got to do add spotlight. Oh, so I just did that here.
Oh, that's different. Okay, I didn't know about that.
It's different than a G650, Captain.
No, it's a little different. It's a little different. The autopilot, the AP button, the autopilot button doesn't look the same here on Zoom.
Yes, sir.
But I want to highlight. So Andres, I don't know what happened on my screen, but now it's all jacked up. The 5 things, and I know I kind of bounce around, guys, but I wanted to share and I wanted to unmute Carlos because, you know, Carlos calls me last night. But the 5 things, the first thing and the most important thing is the deal. The second thing is the debt. Thank you so much. I'm done. The third thing is the equity. The fourth thing is the network. And then the fifth thing, which is really important, is the confidence. The reason why I keep bringing these up and at the beginning of these calls is because a lot of times we get pitched and we get sold and we get pushed in a different direction. I promise you, and Carlos, you would agree with this. I think everybody in this group would, if you agree with this in the chat, the deal is the most important thing in real estate. Would you agree with that, Carlos?
The deal's everything.
Yeah. Would you agree with that, Andres?
100%. Just got
Michael. I think even Michael would agree with me on this thing.
And I think people
Dealers number one.
sometimes settle for a bad deal because they want to make it work so much. I think that's part of our discussion last night, right? It's like sometimes people like have a deal, but the deal is going to determine everything after.
Yeah, and the deal is going to determine the debt. And if the debt likes it, then the equity, which is the people, the partners, they're going to like it.
Mhm.
Because you guys got to remember, like if the bank doesn't like the deal, there's a reason why the bank doesn't like the deal. Carlos called me last night. I was like, well, surprise, surprise, you got to figure out what the bank's going to do, right? And so sometimes the group and the conversations that we have, Carlos, when you called me last night, does that help you?
Oh, 100%, because you always have to see it from a different lens, and you have so much experience negotiating deal after deal after deal. On the ones you close, I can just imagine the ones that never make it to the closing table or just end up in negotiation or just, don't work.
Which is a hell of a lot more than the deals that we've closed, unfortunately.
Hell of a lot more. I've seen your spreadsheets, man.
But with all that said, that's what I want to grip into. Like I feel sometimes, the top 10 and 20%, they're really taking advantage and they're getting a lot of value. And then we have some people who don't really participate. So again, the deal is the most important thing. Then the bank likes it, the debt, and then the equity will like it because all the deal's great. You got the debt, the equity can see a return. And then this networking piece, you got the Zoom, but then you got to come to these live events so you can actually shake. Hey, Carlos, nice to meet you. Let me shake your hand. Michael, nice to meet you. Let me shake your hand. Hey, what do you want to do here? What are your goals? Like set your intentions when you come to these events, guys. Because if you set your intentions and writing them down, like I used to write this stuff down and I still do. Hey, what's my target? What's my goal? I want to meet 10 people. I want to have, this person for cash, this person for deals. Like you guys got to just keep opening up that mindset to where you don't have to do it all yourself. Because once you get past the network, when you underwrite these deals, and we like to keep, hey, here's the deal, here's the underwriting. You got to, I promise you have to, the first thing I wanted to learn when I joined Grant's team is how does he do the underwriting in 5 minutes? Because I would go to the spreadsheets and it would take me an hour to 2 hours and the numbers wouldn't even be right because it's so complicated. And he would do it in 5 minutes and he'd be like within plus or minus, literally plus or minus dollars, plus or minus dollars, because he's looked at so many deals. And so what he told me is he's like, son. He's like, a little grasshopper. He's like, you start looking at all these deals that I'm looking at, and I promise you're going to catch up. And he wasn't that nice. He was like, hey, look, son, once you start seeing all the deals that I have, you're still wet behind the ears. I got more time on, on a deal than you do in total life, because he's been doing this since the 90s, right? But I'm telling you, since I've tapped into Grant, I can underwrite a deal in 5 minutes. I have now for years. And so you guys will grip into it. You guys will grip into this 5-minute underwriting. And then that's going to give you, which I was just talking about, is the confidence, because when Carlos can underwrite a deal and Michael can underwrite a deal and Andres can underwrite a deal in 5 minutes, you now understand, okay, now what else do I need to know? What are the cap rates in the marketplaces? What is the cap rate in place? What did the broker tell me the cap rate is? What did the bank tell me the cap rate is? Whether you're flying airplanes or you're doing real estate, guys, it's CRM, career resource management. You got to have the right people in place to bounce deals off of. So that way you could be clear, you could be concise, and you can make decisions whether or not sometimes no, saying, no, I don't like that deal. Michael, have you ever felt really freed up when you said, hey, no, I don't want to do that deal anymore, and you could look at new deals?
Absolutely. Complete game changer, right? So I'm telling folks that if you get to the underwriting 5 to 10 minutes, the best thing you can do is eliminate deals that are not worth pursuing, right? So you can get to those right deals that are worth your time, worth everyone's time to really work down that waterfall. The deal will find the debt, the equity, will find the network, and then build your confidence. No question.
Yeah. What did you want to share, Michael? What did you want to share today? Did you want to share something?
Well, no, yeah. Since you gave me the pleasure of being right next to my brother Carlos, it's pretty exciting. So I was able to walk a deal. My first kind of led deal myself. Went to Richmond with my partner. We walked the deal and had that feeling of just unbelievable. This is a property that can change someone's life. 238 door units. It's in a Class A area and nothing but value add. I mean, they're way below market rents. And they're even advertising now for the turnovers to get up to that market rent. So, I mean, this is something that I'm willing to I want to definitely get it to the Grant team. Just excited to be here, but that was like an unbelievable experience just to see something and just get that feeling of I actually found gold, right?
Right.
So when you talk about that deal and working down deals,
Was it listed or off market?
so it was listed, but we were able to jump on it early, and it's coming up due this week. So
Okay, good. Well, keep us posted on the deal, and as you work through it, look, guys, 250 units, 300 units, 150 units. We'll partner on deals with you guys. Like, we'll help you if the deal makes money and the deal cash flows. We are okay with saying, hey, look, I'll help you get that extra little push. You know what I mean? Like, with the best, like, what's his name? We worked on this deal in Arkansas. I literally jumped on a best and final call with what's his name, Andres? You remember his name?
Brad?
Yeah, with Brad. And we got awarded the deal. So guys, I'm willing to do like obviously I can't fill my schedule up with best and final calls and debt calls and all that stuff. But I'm willing to help you guys, like every single like distributions. We send out distributions every month. And it's interesting because people don't realize until you really start managing. And just so everybody knows, I don't know if we told everybody, Andres, but we've officially raised over $1 billion at Cardone Capital. And so throw a round of applause. And I'm actually complaining. I'm not bragging. I'm complaining. I'm very disappointed. My goal and my target is to raise $1 billion a year, just so I could set that out in the universe amongst all my real estate peeps.
Let's go.
But the goal is to raise $1 billion and go take down. I was just talking with Grant. He's behind me right now. We were just talking about how we can go buy a REIT or a portfolio or a company and bring you all along with us. And, look, we got this real estate show that's really highlighting, what we do. And it looks fucking awesome. Like for whoever participated. Is Victor here today? If Victor's not here today, you better text his ass, Andres, and hold him accountable saying, where the hell are you? And he may be here, but he needs to be on the top because he was a part of the real estate show. Guys, I'm telling you, this thing is amazing. And it goes back to the network. You guys are already in this network. We're giving you first dibs. You got a deal in X, Y, and Z. We're coming to your town. We got the cities. What are the cities, Andres? Atlanta, Tampa. You're missing a whole bunch of shit, Andres, on the beginning of this call. What are you doing?
Miami as well. Oh, I was calling Victor.
Nashville.
I got Victor on the line here.
What are the cities?
It's Atlanta, Miami, Tampa.
Good. So we have those 3 cities. Whoever is in this group, if you live there or you want to come down and find a deal, let's get you on the show. Like I didn't even want to be on the show, guys. Don't tell Grant this. But once I started doing it, I was like, oh, Victor's on here. I knew Victor was on here. Look at how good Victor looks, too.
There he is.
This is a #1 stunner right here. He even went with a slick back today. He ain't playing around. He's like, I'm going to go buy me 2,000 apartments in Vegas.
What's up? What's up?
Victor, how you doing, Victor?
I'm amazing. How are you guys? How are you, Ryan? What's up, man?
No. Look, I wanted to see your face because I'm telling everybody how important the network is, right? And, I just saw this first clip of the TV show, The Real Estate King, and everybody here is in this network. So, like, I see your name, get them on the show. I see your name, get them on the show. Like literally, I want y'all to win. So I even told Victor, I'm like, I'm going to pull for you. Like, I'm not, that ain't cheating, guys. Like, that's like, if you know somebody, I'm going to help Victor get to the finish line. So that way he can, all the boats are going to rise together.
100%. What I could tell you if it wasn't for Ryan pulling for me, it's a tough show. It's a tough, Grant's tough. And the reality is you got to keep showing up. You got to put yourself in play. Otherwise, Ryan doesn't know who you are.
Yeah, that's right. So Victor, #1, I appreciate you and I appreciate you being here. You look phenomenal. Michael, thank you for sharing that with us. Grant, welcome to the Wednesday.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Hope y'all are doing well. We're down on count. Looks like there's 192 people in here. Should be another 50 or 60. The value, guys, in this club is that we meet every week. I'm not going to trust you if I see you one time any more than you guys would trust me if you saw me one time. I mean, like the real estate business they don't do business like that. They do business because of relationships. It's not how much you're willing to pay. It's not how much you're willing to put down. It's not, dude, it's whether they know you and trust you. And the deals are coming. This last year, I've been telling you guys, I thought it was going to be the last quarter of this year. I was wrong. It's going to be in the first 6 months or the first 9 months of this year, coming up, 2023. Capitulation has not happened yet. It will happen. Trust me. But right now, you need to be building relationships with investors and with brokers and with banks.
Mhm.
And the things that I'm not wrong about is this. The deal is senior to everything else. If you don't have deals, when you're looking at deals right now, Michael puts a deal together. He needs to put it on his books, keep it in his ledger like we do under working deals. If the deal gets sold, then it becomes a lost deal. It gets moved to lost. We have deals that we lost 2 years ago that we're tracking today because we know those people that bought those deals. And I was upset I didn't get that deal. I'm going to get that deal back. Okay. This is called hanging around the rim longer than I wanted to. This is why, if you've ever heard the saying, hey, sometimes the shit that you don't get to do that you're upset about is the best shit you never did. So we're going to hang around the rim. Anything that was bought 2 or 3 years ago, we're hanging around the rim waiting for that debt to come due. And it's coming due. And then the pressure is going to be put on the seller to create a distressed situation. Distress does not mean the property's distressed. It means the seller's distressed. And for the first time in history, man, we're going to go all the way to the top of the food chain with distressed. So just telling you, man, you gotta be filling your pipeline up with inventory, which means you need to be looking at more deals. When you see a deal, bring it to this club. I had a lady on Twitter Spaces last night. Is she in?
Tanae, yes.
Tanae. I invite her here. She is not a club member. She's going to come in here one time and pitch her deal today. Okay, so she's going to pitch her deal. You guys are going to probably destroy it because it probably doesn't make sense. She thinks it does. And then she's going to walk away saying, man, there's 204 people here that could invest and fund my deal. If she's lucky enough to find her first deal, stumble across the first deal, and it makes money, I'll fund the damn thing today, club member or not. So all I'm trying to tell you guys, keep bringing deals to the club. This isn't about ideas. It's about deals. So every time we meet with somebody, people want to meet with us. What's our first question, Ryan?
Do we, when they meet with us, do we like the deal?
No, you got a deal? You got a deal?
Right.
There's some people traveling in here for Houston yesterday. 3 brokers, probably just wanted a trip to Miami. They're with what? Who are they with? Huffman or
Berkadia. They're with Berkadia out of Houston.
They want to come in, want to spend time. I walk in, first thing I said, you guys got a deal? No. See you later. Boom, I walked out of the meeting. Okay. Who's got a deal, by the way? Raise your damn hand if you got something you think we can buy and make some money on. Oh, nobody. Not one person raised their hand.
So Tani has a deal.
Let's go. Tani, what you got?
Hey, hang on, Grant. So Andres, what we're going to do is, we'll let Tanae do her deal. And then all the people who raised their hand and want to do some, whether it's a question or share, we'll do that either in between or after. Okay, Andres? So let's get them all stacked. But again, hey, Grant, what we're saying is, people who we haven't seen your face, raise your hand, introduce yourself, because everybody adds a different piece of value to the real estate game. And then out of the club, Andres, do we have this number? How many people are coming to the real estate summit next week?
So out of the club, I don't have the exact number in front of me, but I know it was close to 150 last time I checked.
Yeah. So there's still another 100-ish that we need to reach out to. And guys, if you know somebody in the club that's not coming, like, they got to drop it. Like, you got to tell them you got to be there, because all the 5 things that Grant talks about, number 4 being the network, they got to shake hands. They got to you got to know people. The Zoom call is one thing, but when you meet somebody in real life, it completely changes the game. Something changes. And I hear Grant talk about this all the time. Something changes to not only you, but to them. So when
it's free, guys, you guys get this free. This is a $5,000 seat. It's included in what you part of the club. Use it or lose it. Are you crazy not to use this? It's not the seat you're losing, man. It's the opportunity to meet one right person. Maybe me and Terry Carter meet and we freaking gel and we're like, shit, dude, we're going to do deals together. You guys can only do so much by yourself, man. You run out of money. And for every bad deal that you don't like or deal I don't like, maybe somebody in here, Jamie Green, comes to the event and said, look at this deal. Oh my God, man, that's a great deal. She couldn't figure it out, but I can. Maybe you work in a deal and you couldn't get a discount on it. Maybe they don't even like you, but they like me. And so I'll come in and be the buyer. Last thing I'll tell you guys is, before I tell you one other thing, is, dude, I did a deal once where the guy didn't like me. I put somebody else to come in behind me, okay, to buy the deal, and then I took the contract over later.
Nice.
So, and by the way, the second guy got it for a cheaper price than I was trying to pay for it. People were idiots. They should have done business with the guy they didn't like. Okay, the other thing is, in January, I'm going to be in Nashville, Tampa, Miami, and Atlanta shooting The Real Estate King. If you guys live in Nashville and have deals in Nashville, I'll put you on the show. If you have deals in Tampa and you live in Tampa, I'll put you on the show. If you live in Miami and have deals in Miami, I'll put you on the show. And number 4, Atlanta, Georgia. All that happens in January.
Andres, if you could put the link just so people can click on it for the casting, and then if they could follow up and just make sure that we see it, because again, what Grant's saying is once we see your name, since you're a part of the club, we want you a part of the show. The last thing I'm going to say, because I always bring Grant to these events, and he's like, oh, I don't want to go, I don't want to go, I don't want to go. When we leave the event, he's like, I'm glad I went. So please just hear us out. Come to the event. The Real Estate Summit's next week. We got the show. We talked about that. Andres is going to put the link. Andres, if we're all ready to go, let's jump into the first deal, and then we'll circle up with these the Q&A.
All right. So first deal, let me go ahead and pull it up here. There we go.
Still Tanae, right?
Okay, I want you guys to know Tanae is not a member of the club. I met Tanae on Spaces, Twitter Spaces. She's gonna pitch the deal. I don't know her. I can't vouch for her. I can't vouch for the deal. I'm seeing this for the first time too. So she convinced me last night she's got a sick deal that we have to see.
All right, Andres, you want to unmute Tanae, and then question from Jesse. Yeah, so Twitter Spaces is like Clubhouse, but the audience is completely different. I was on there last night with Grant talking about what the Fed's doing to America. The audience is very, very high end.
Yeah, great audience. I'm gonna be spending more time on Twitter Spaces. So Tanae, a couple of rules here. Put it back on me and Tanae. Tanae, I don't need a sales pitch on you.
Okay.
All I want to hear about is the deal. Okay.
Okay. All right.
That's how we roll here.
Okay.
Tell me about your deal.
Okay. So let's skip this one. Skip this page and this page. We can skip this page. Of course, we're in a room full of investors that understand there is risk attached to investing.
We already did that.
Okay. Skip. Okay.
God damn.
Now we're on the deal. So first of all, I'll just give you a quick background. The way I have this set up is so that you can get right to the point, just like you're asking, Grant. The current net operating income is $12,132,000. Projected net operating income is $14,093,000. We have a market rent gap of 26%. There's actually this 9.8% cash on cash on this page is on the extremely conservative side. Some of my charts show over 11% cash on cash. That's all and anywhere between a 21 to 30% IRR, ARR. And let me tell you why. Because there's two ways that this deal is going to be done, and this is why I came to you. It's a really, really interesting scenario that actually speaks to everything you just mentioned a second ago. This is
Tanae, can you show us the deal too? Because I know we're on these numbers. Can you just show us the deal so I can see what we're looking at?
I am so glad you said that. And can I ask you for one very short thing? Please do not ask questions until I'm done. And you can do what you want, but it's already on the slide. So see, the next slide is the first complex. This is the Palmetto.
Okay. All right. Tanae, just to give you a heads up, though, there's probably going to be more questions coming. So, that's part of the show. Welcome to the show.
That's fair enough. Fair enough. So this is the Palmetto at Lakeside. The entire portfolio is 1,663 apartments. It was purchased by the current owner last November for $268 million. The Palmetto at Lakeside is 558 apartments. These are all situated right in the metropolitan Orlando, Florida. You can go to the next slide. The Beverly at Lakeside is 336 of the apartments of the portfolio, and the Cardone is, next slide, the Cardone is 769 apartments of the portfolio. So looking at all of these portfolios, these pictures, you can go back one. These pictures look phenomenal, right? The seller before the current seller actually did a full remodel just before 2020. When they did that remodel, they did a lot of work on the exterior. Their work they did on the interior, all of these properties are 1974 vintage. So with 1974, it's actually the oldest buildings in the neighborhood. All the other buildings in the entire neighborhood are brand new. They're like 90s, 2000s. There's a lot of brand new construction in the neighborhood. So the neighborhood is going through gentrification. This particular property is the worst of the portfolio and the largest of the portfolio. We did a walkthrough just last week. The reason why these pictures are very misleading, because that is how the property looks. However, the roofs do need to be done. That particular kitchen are all new cabinet doors and not new cabinets. So they put new cabinet doors and not new cabinets. So the cabinets are still from 1970s. So they tried to really skip. Then you have even the doors on the hinges, all the doors in the apartment I was disgusted with because they all were like painted.
Okay. Hey.
So it's all cosmetic. So let's move on to the next one. The other thing that I hated about that apartment complex is that there's too many entrances and there's broken gates around the entire thing. So there's not really a lot of security. The alarms of the complexes, that was the common theme. So that what I just explained is the exact reason why people are moving out. And it's the exact reason why, they're going through pandemic and then people just had to be evicted. And so that's the challenge that the owner is having.
Hey today.
Yeah.
So this is Ryan. So just high level really quick. So I might have missed it. How many total units and what's the purchase price on this portfolio?
1,163 apartments.
Okay, that's good size.
Let's
All
bring
right.
it back. Let's bring it back to Tanae, though. I think we've seen enough on the property itself, Tanae. So what I want to do is I want to find out about the deal now. I know Orlando. I know it's 1974. I know what I'm gonna look at. So for me, like you telling me the cabinet boxes are bad, like you're starting to give me reasons not to even be interested.
Okay, that's fair enough.
So they what do they want for it? He paid $268 for it last November, which this is exactly the kind of deal I'd be interested in watching for the next 2 years. Because his debt, there's no way he's got fixed debt. His debt's blowing up in his face right now. What does he owe on the property?
So he has a loan with Arbor at 3.15 plus. I'm sorry. He has a loan with Arbor at SOFR plus 3.15.
So what would that bring us at today?
Loan is $212,500,000.
Oh my God.
212 million.
Yes, 212,500. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Frank, this is exactly the kind of deal that I described 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, current SOFR is 381, Grant. So 381 plus 315. What's his current rate?
7%.
7.
3.81 plus
We underwrote
3.15.
this at 7.
A 7 cap?
No, we underwrote it at 7. The way I structured the deal, initially we were going to buy it. We were going to do a Ginnie Mae when it was still at 4.5. I negotiated a 50 for him to have 50 million for him to stay on the loan so that we can close it this year. I want him to stay on the loan until we refinance it in 2 years. He agreed to that, so it's
Yeah, but Tanae, so Harbor's not going to agree to it.
actually Arbor did, and so we already had the conversation with Arbor. The lawyers did.
Okay. Who's got the $260 million for the debt?
So the only capital that we're raising is to recapitalize the project by buying out all of his current LPs with 50 million, and that would walk him away from the property, but he'll stay on as KP on the debt. So we're not doing new debt. So
I got it.
right.
Got
Then
it.
we would pay him another 20 million at the refinance. That would put me at 290 million total, which is about 267,000 a door. I'm sorry, 167,000 a door, and which is obviously lower than anything you see on the market right now. It doesn't exist. There's nothing in Orlando anywhere close to 167,000 a door.
Yeah, so today, Grant, let me just get the purchase. So what is the total purchase price, and then what did he buy it for last year?
He bought it last year. He bought it last year for 268 million.
268, and then what are you buying it for?
I'm buying it for 260 million now, and 20 million in 2 years.
So a total of 280.
290.
So you're buying it for 270 or 260?
290, Ryan. God damn, she said it 3 times, bro.
Grant.
It's 200. It's 270. So now there's
270.
There's one.
And then she's going to.
Okay.
She's going to give him another 20 in 2 years as she gets there.
In 2 years.
I understand, but she said 260 plus 20 equals 280, and then she says 290.
I made a mistake. Let me tell you why
So-
the mistake keeps, and let me tell you why that's fuddled in my head. Because there's $7.5 million in CapEx. So the actual loan is only the debt balance is only $212,500. The CapEx that's still in the loan is 7.5 that hasn't been drawn on yet. So
how much? What is the NOI today?
the net operating income is 12 million.
Okay. Okay. You have 15 million. I mean, all this price stuff and the 2 million and the 20 million in 3 years tonight. The debt alone is 15,120,000 interest only. I don't know if you guys have done that math. This has nothing to do with the price or the per unit. This loan will not be approved. It will not be consummated. I don't care. Arbor told you we'll do it. You cannot fund this unless you're just trying to stretch this owner out and bring you in to do some work. It loses $3.1 million a year in interest only. This loan will be sub 1 DCR. It won't even cover. It's going to be like a point.
I agree completely.
So it's not the loan's in technical default right now.
No, it isn't. Only
It doesn't.
it
Doesn't hit the DCR. It doesn't hit the DCR parameters.
So we do that. Okay, and which is the reason why I told him after looking at the remodel that needs to be done, and we did the walkthrough, I told him that he needs to come down 27 million. I took the 20 million on the end off the table, and I took the 7.5 in CapEx, and I told him, you're going to have to give me that 7.5 because he wanted to keep the 7.5 in CapEx. When I do it that way, the best case scenario is for us to get this at 202 million. That with debt ratio at about 1.3. I mean, not debt ratio. The DSCR would be about 1.3 across the board. All the numbers are beautiful, but that is literally $10 million less than Arbor is owed. And
So is he willing?
Arbor would have to be done. And I need somebody very powerful like yourself, Grant, that can negotiate with him, because what we have here is a distressed owner who's literally bleeding. I mean,
Yeah.
no
Tonight,
way.
can I just tell you tonight?
Yes.
Look, I would love to do stuff with you in the future. This deal is not ready to be bought yet, okay? This guy's going to lose this property. This property, the next time it trades, will not be $167,000 a door. It's going to trade for probably $100,000 a door.
Yeah.
Not because it's a bad deal, but because he bought it at the wrong time and he's trying to sell it at the wrong time.
Yep.
Okay.
And today, Grant, just to add to your point right there, because this is what you keep talking about. When you do the math, right, at the cap rate that it should sell for today, this product 1974 a 5.5 cap, this deal is worth right about what the debt is.
Yep.
And so the LPs on that deal, they're either going to have to hang on or they're going to get wiped out.
They are wiped out right now.
Well, they're not until it trades, but what I'm saying, they're not wiped out. If you go in at 260 or even 255, a piece of their LP dollars will go back. What I'm saying is that at the current cap rates, what this guy put on his debt is probably roughly what the deals are worth total.
And I don't trust the NOI on it either.
Of 12 million, right?
I don't trust that NOI. I don't believe that that's real. But
They've
anyway,
updated the NOI several times on us, and they're behind on their T12s. So I don't trust them either. And actually, but we'd have to go into contract. I requested 3 months bank statements.
yeah.
And
You know what I think the property's worth today?
what do you think it's worth?
I think it's worth today.
What NOI are you using, Grant?
I ain't going to tell you. I think it's worth $180 million. I think it ends up trading for $180 million, and it's going to be Arbor. Arbor is going to eat $30 million. I'm glad I invited you on today, because this is what's going to happen. You're going to see thousands of these deals, not one or two, thousands and thousands of them. Ken G, you're nodding your head right now, okay? And that's why I told you guys last year, man, make sure your location's sick. Every one of my last 5 deals will be readjusted. My lender is going to come in and say, hey, you need to buy these loans down, and I'm going to fund it myself. Okay, I'm not going to go back to my investors. I'll fund it myself. Everything across the board will be readjusted, and people that can't fund it will lose it. And it's going to go all the way to the top of all the way to the top of the heavens of finance. It's going to be Blackstone and Goldman and JP, every one of them, bro. KKRs, all of them. Everybody will have to readjust their books.
That's right.
So this is not what you want. You do not want C product in a C location that's already in trouble. And today, no matter how much you want to try to make this work, it ain't going to close anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, because we haven't even talked about, the floating piece or the rate cap or, the amount of money that's going to need to be pushed back into this deal. Just
the amount of money they're gonna want carved out for the seller's not even in control anymore. This guy's going to get bled out, and as he does, occupancy is going to go down.
That's where
collections are going to go through their fucking roof.
That's where he's at. The numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And
So what you need
were
to
there, tenants were coming up to us. Are you
Yeah.
going to buy it? I need.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, tell him you got a guy sitting over here waiting for him. I don't even know if I'd buy it for 180 though. It's going to be in such trouble by the time you get to it. So Tanae, thank you for being here. I appreciate you coming in, pitching the deal. I hope you join our club. You can see there's 232 people here. We meet next week. When is it? When is the 3-day?
Next
Friday.
We do three events a year live in person, and then we meet every week and look at deals. So there's how much money have we done in this one room? A couple 100 million, 300 million?
Yeah, it's got to be up there. I'm working on calculating that for you, but I mean, just between Carlos, Ken, and Robert, we're probably pushing that 200 to 250 just with 3 people. So you add the rest of the club, like Robert like Thomas Varghese and all these other people doing deals. It's got to be up there. Jesse's doing deals, I know. So
Good.
Yeah,
And
but Tani, it was great having you on. It's such a great example too of, kind of the current marketplace.
and
So we would love to have you.
she's so professional, dude. She knows her shit. Like,
Thank you.
no, you did a great job.
Thank you.
I'm glad I got you through those first 7 pages of okay. Hey, love you.
But Tanae, Grant's advice to you obviously is, this deal doesn't work. Are you going to take his advice? Are you going to listen,
there.
or are you going to keep strangling yourself on this deal?
I'm already there. Let me tell you this one thing, and I think I'm going to learn to be a little better. But there's one thing. I'm where you are. I'm where you guys are. I completely agree. I want the deal at a 6 cap. 6 cap is basically 202 million. I'm right exactly where you are. You figured it at a 5.5 cap. I like the deal now at a 6 cap. But I had the accepted LOI, and it was very creative. And because he's bleeding, I just know someone's going to buy it. And I don't want to be sick in my stomach and drive by that property, and I didn't give it a go and try and get it myself. So,
The problem is you want to pay a 6 cap is a fantasy, because Arbor's not going to give you, they're not going to go from his debt to your debt, from his net worth to your net worth, and lose $10 million doing it. They're basically going down on their credit, the credit qualifications of the buyer, and they're going to take a $10 million loss. They're going to call me and say, hey, bro, we'll give it to you for 180. They know they're going to get paid by me. I'm just telling you how this thing plays out. It's not fair, but that's how it's going to play out.
so that's why I'm talking to you, Grant.
Yeah. But so step away from the deal, because that deal, all you're going to be doing is wasting time and energy. It's not ready. It's not cooked yet.
Okay, gotcha.
And then join the club. Reach out to Annie, ANNIE at Grant Cardone to get the club. Okay, she's texting you now, I think. Thank you for coming in, and Annie will let me know if you join the club.
Yeah.
But for now, I got to kick you out of here because
Okay.
everybody else paid.
All right.
Kick her ass out of the room, guys.